Hi, I'm here today for another of my Is It Worth It reviews, and I'm looking at something a little bit different, something I suspect most of you haven't seen before, a miniature from a company called Icarus Miniatures. This is an Alliance Trooper for their Icarus Project miniatures game. Now, before I show you the miniature and we go into the review in detail, I want to tell you a little bit about Icarus Miniatures. I met them at the Blast-Tastic Science Fiction Miniatures Convention in Bristol, UK, just a couple of weeks ago. And they're a small company. They've just completed their first successful Kickstarter to develop a new range of resin science fiction miniatures for their Icarus Project miniatures game, which is currently in beta. And if you want to know more about it, best place to go is to look for the Icarus Project on Facebook, and that's where their community meets, or you can go to their website at icarusminiatures.com. So that's an introduction to the company, and to have a look at the miniature in more detail, we'll come back in a second. So here it is a fairly large clamshell box, not difficult to open, easy to reuse. There's a piece of artwork here that shows the concept art for their Alliance Trooper, basic title, and some stuff about the Icarus Project and the Alliance Troopers themselves. There's also, inside the box, we have the game card for the Alliance Trooper. I'm not sure to what extent this is strictly necessary for the game, but it's certainly helpful to have it come in the box if you're going to play the miniatures game. And then we've got a big chunk of foam, and a little miniature, and the base. I'll put the box in the foam now. It does seem like, I will say, it's a big clamshell and a big piece of foam for quite a small miniature. It seems to me you could save a certain amount of packaging space and shelf space given the size of this thing. So let's get him out of the baggie and have a look. So this is the first time I've got him out. As you can see, it's a three-part miniature. We've got the main body itself, so he's wearing plate armour on his chest and a piece of crotch armour. He's got knee plates, basic webbing straps, a couple of pouches, pistol, good number of pouches, even a strap on his legs, boot knife down there, nice detail, elbow pads, and upper body and wrist armour. This is a nice design. I mean, for near future sci-fi, we've got good stuff. This face, if I bring this up here, he's sort of, got a standard sci-fi growling expression. Not sure what I think of the face, to be honest. I think I'd rather see my infantry trooper with some sort of helmet rather than the buzz cut, but I know that there are other miniatures in the range that do have helmets. I imagine you could do a head swap. And here is the left arm, carrying a light machine gun, which is very much along the lines of modern LMG designs. It's got a bipod, which is part of the moulding so it doesn't fold down. It's got an upper carry handle, which he's using to brace as he's firing with the machine gun in his elbow. There's an optic sight on the top and a box mag on the bottom. And if we check the fit there, so clearly, so there's a certain amount of stretching needs to be done there. I think this might need some time in the hot water or with a hairdryer, but the fit is very good. I like the ball socket that we've got in that shoulder, and it meets with the wrist very nice. You can see I've not put any glue on this at all. That's just fitting out of tension between the wrist and the shoulder, which is ever so good. I'm not going to put the head on. As you can see, there's a casting gate on there, but I suppose you could keep that casting gate, just drill down and use that as a pin for it to go straight into the body. Comes with a standard 25mm slotted base. Arms come off. And now it's interesting. The Icarus Miniatures logo on the base is actually preventing me from putting this easily into the slot. No, does not want to go. I'm going to have to file some of that down or cut out some of the space in the base just to get that in. I would feed that back to Icarus to say that's probably an error. Looks to me that these slots on the bases are too wide. They'd probably be just the right width if you didn't have the Icarus Miniatures logo on the base. Now, I picked this up for £7 at the event. All of their miniatures were £7. I think there was a slight discount on that from buying it direct from Icarus. I picked this up partly to be a generic sci-fi soldier with an HMG, because I always like something like that, but also as a potential alternative sculpt for Infinity, and the scale equivalence is exactly right. This is a 30mm sculpt, which is very much the size that that Infinity has grown to after the last year or so. Is a nice generic miniature, would work as an authorized bounty hunter, would go quite nicely alongside my Hack-Islam force, or he could go in an Ariadne force. He could even fit in Nomads or Pan-Oceania. Any of the human forces really could find a spot, I would think, for this. I think the nature of the machine gun means that it would be best suited to Ariadne or Hack-Islam, but he would fit nicely as an HMG, despite that being a light machine gun, which is more accurate, I've got to say, from Icarus Miniatures than HMG, the terminology used in Infinity, but it would fit very nicely as an alternative sculpt, as I say, an authorized bounty hunter or some other mercenary unit, perhaps a what are they called, Druze, a Druze shock trooper with a Spitfire. This would be a very nice, neat fit. In fact, I think I have a Druze head, spare Druze head kicking around that I might use instead of the bear head that comes with this miniature when I put it together. Overall, £7. This is a smidgen on the expensive side for a miniature of this sort. I would be expecting to pay perhaps a little less, £6.50 perhaps, if I was buying an Infinity miniature off the shelf. But you'll find Infinity miniatures of this type for around the same sort of money. This is resin, of course, rather than metal. I think generally I prefer metal when I'm dealing with miniatures of this sort. I think the quality of the detail that you get is just a little bit better. And I like the weight of a metal miniature. But the quality of the casting is excellent. There's no mould lines to be seen at all on the body. It looks like very little cleaning to be done. There's a slight mould line on the elbow of the arm, and there's clearly some flashing around the box mag, but that'll clear off very easily. And nothing to be seen at all on the head. The head is absolutely perfectly cast. So, you know, the quality of what we're seeing here is very good, and to that extent, I would say that if you are looking to get into a brand new skirmish sci-fi game, I can't speak for the quality of Icarus's game, but by all means go and check out the beta rules. I've just started reading them. They look fairly standard to me so far, but there could be something special in there. Or if you're looking for a good alternative 28 to 30mm sci-fi infantier with a machine gun for Infinity or any other miniatures game, then I think this is definitely worth checking out. There are a number of other miniatures available in the Icarus Miniatures line, and I'd certainly recommend that if you're interested in this sort of thing, you go and have a look at their website and check them out. So in short, is it worth it? Yeah, I think it is.